Folks in Los Angeles are losing their collective noggins over the Dodger blue, and the manager of the National League champion Los Angeles Dodgers on the day before Game 1 of the World Series, Dave Roberts, kind enough to call into the show. How are you, Skipper?
Rich, I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. What emotions are coursing through your veins right now, Dave?
I think, you know what, I'm trying to temper them. There's a ton, to be quite honest, obviously, and a lot of excitement, and just trying to tell myself, take it one game at a time. But obviously, that's hard to do when you walk around Los Angeles and you hear and see all the energy and all the text messages that you get.
And so, are you thinking about the journey of your career, your life? I mean, are you thinking big picture like that, Dave?
You know what? I think that there's moments like that, Rich. There's moments like that, and you kind of look back and wonder how you got here to this moment. And but a lot of it is just focusing, on this World Series and trying to finish what we started and, focus on the Astros.
And then there's always a journey for the actual season that you'd love to finish with one last champagne shower. What moment this season can you recall where you thought, okay, this team's special. We got ourselves a chance to win a championship this year?
I think it was, to be quite honest, I knew from the beginning that the talent was in the room. I knew that it was a special group. And when we talked about this day one of spring training, but Rich, all season long, our guys were focused. But I think the second half of the season, where we were behind and Yasiel hit a homer, we played well up going into the break, and we were down late to the Marlins in that first game of the second half. And you never want that little hangover after the break. And he had a big walk-off homer or a homer late, and we ended up winning that game off their closer, Ramos. And I just thought at that point in time, this is our season.
Okay. Dave Roberts, Dodger manager, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's talk about right now, right here, right now. Is Clayton Kershaw 100% healthy, Dave?
He's 100%, Rich. He's 100%. You look at all the postseasons that he's been through. This is the lightest workload that he's had, and obviously never been in the World Series. So he's mentally, physically raring to go. Okay, so if necessary, load him up. Game 1, see how. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he feels good. He feels strong. He threw a great game in Chicago. So obviously, we're going to load him up. But it is nice when you have a pen that's really rested and there's 7 or 8 guys back there that you trust. Okay. And then in terms of your lineup, do you know right here, right now, as we're chatting right now, what your lineup's going to be, do you think, for Game 1? I do. I do. I think that it's we have a pretty set left-handed lineup. And so I think that we're going to run those same guys out there against Keuchel on Game 1. And why would you make a decision like that? Walk me through that, if you don't mind. Well, I think that our guys, the season that they've really had success against left-handed pitching, obviously, the only question being is Corey Seager, where I expect him to be in the lineup. We'll see. He's tracking the right way, feeling good. But Austin Barnes behind the plate, Cody Bellinger, Justin Turner, obviously, and Kike Hernandez. We platoon in left field, and he's had a tremendous postseason, 3 homers. So he'll play against the lefty, but a lot of it is what my eyes tell me, and also just kind of what the numbers say, too. So would you say Seager is a game-time decision, I guess, to use a football phrase, Dave? I think that I'm certain he'll be active, and we just want to make sure that, that he's healthy enough, and if we have to buy him an extra day, we'll do that. But I would say sort of, Rich, a game-time decision, but I expect him to be on the roster. Okay. And in terms of keeping your players healthy, I imagine just keeping them away from Kike's high fives would be something that's very important for you right now, right? Hey, man, he was fired up, 3 homers in the postseason. So, yeah, he came into that tiny little dugout in Wrigley Field. He came in hot. And just a couple of players I want to hit with you right here. Dave Roberts, Dodger manager, day before World Series Game 1, calling in here to the Rich Eisen Show. We discussed when we chatted about a couple months ago about Yasiel Puig and how when you guys made a decision to send him down to Oklahoma City last year, a lot of folks thought that he was not redeemable as a talent, let alone the guy that we're seeing right now. Did you have a conversation with him at any point in September about the big October that's to come, and have a sit down with him about keeping his emotions in check and then channeling it in the positive ways that we're seeing mostly
in October.
Yeah, I did. I did, Rich. And with Yasiel, like many of our players, I have a lot of conversations. But I think with him especially, I want to make sure that we're on the same page, and I think that he appreciates the candidness of a conversation and holding him accountable and myself accountable. But yeah, going into October, we had a conversation in September, and just kind of really trying to challenge him to focus on every pitch and understanding that the most important thing as we approach October, there is no switch to kind of like flip it on when the postseason comes, and the focus for 3.5 hours has to be there, and the goal is to help the Dodgers win baseball games. So I was very clear. He was very in tune with that, and he was completely on board.
So, I mean, don't you run the risk of maybe alienating where he feels you don't trust him because you're having this conversation?
I think the thing, Rich, with Yasiel is he appreciates, like most people, is just directness. And I think that, when you can be honest and forthright, I think that he appreciates that. And for us, for 2 years, we have that relationship where I'm honest with him and challenge him and have certain expectations. And if they're not met, then there's consequences. And I follow through on that with that as well. So I know with him and I, there's a mutual respect and love. So, I've got no problem having that difficult conversation with him.
Did you have a conversation with him after he kind of bat flipped on a double, Dave?
No, I didn't. That's kind of, the thing is, Rich, is there's a balance of, playing the game the right way, but also taking a person's kind of natural kind of enthusiasm away. And as long as he's playing the game the right way, I've got no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be honest with you. Just seeing him, just the way he's gone about his business and then having fun while owning it and then licking his bat and all of this stuff, it's great. It's just, a fun atmosphere. You're supposed to have fun playing a game of baseball.
You got to have fun. And is it the days when Ted Williams played and Maury Wills or Don Newcomb or Jackie or whoever? No, it's not. Bob Gibson would have his neck if he saw someone lick his bat when he was in the batter's box. But you know what? The game's changed, Rich. We know that. The fans love it. And this guy still is an asset. He's helping the Dodgers win baseball.
And then I want to talk about Justin Turner, what he has become. How do you, as a skipper, just continue to harness a magic carpet ride and ascension into superstardom for this guy who years ago didn't even possibly, for many observers, have such a path for his career? How do you maintain this?
You know what, Rich, you said it right. It's a magical ascension. And I think that, but he's a magical person, and he's a heck of a baseball player. And all the things that have come his way, he's earned, and no one works harder. He's as blue collar as they get. He loves being a Dodger. He's a winner. And, in big spots, man, this guy doesn't shy away from the big moment. And so I've said it many times, Rich, he's the glue to our ball club, and we wouldn't be here without him.
All right, so then let's just, in a couple minutes we have left, turn our attention to the other clubhouse and dugout. Dave Roberts, Dodger manager here. Jose Altuve is a revelation, and somebody like yourself, the positions that you played, and I guess if you don't mind, physical stature.
Sure.
Just seeing what this guy does and how the team and the fan base plugs into what he's doing. What do you think you need to do to try and bottle up Jose Altuve for this series, Dave?
Yeah, this guy's an MVP. You see the stats, as you mentioned, but this guy, there's nothing on a baseball field he can't do, and it's just remarkable to see. And it's hard as a fan not to root for a guy like Jose Altuve. But now when you're in the opposite dugout, obviously, it's a tall task to try to figure out a way to contain this guy. I think just mixing locations, changing speeds, because if you walk him, he can steal a base, and if you leave it in the zone, he can slug you. So you just got to kind of keep him guessing. But yeah, the guy can run, so he gets on base a lot of different ways, and they go as he goes. So he's that one guy. I think, Rich, every team you sort of identify what guy you don't want to beat you, and he's that guy for them.
And then the ALCS MVP and Justin Verlander, he appears to be as locked in as possible. Was there any point where there was conversations about you guys acquiring him over the summer?
We were absolutely on him. There were conversations, and he's a heck of a pitcher. He's a number one, obviously, and yeah, I mean, we were really looking into it, but I think the contract and all that stuff, kind of what you inherit. And I don't know all that stuff, Rich, but I know that he was definitely in conversations. But obviously a huge coup for the Astros. But we're going to have our hands full game two with Verlander.
No doubt. And two more for you. Look, I know you take whoever you want to get, whoever, the baseball gods place in front of you, and the Astros are a top-notch team and potentially world championship caliber. But didn't the 2004 version of Dave Roberts want the Yankees in that building?
You know what, Rich? I'll tell you what. I was torn in the sense of for baseball, the purity, the history, Dodgers, Giants, it would have been iconic. I mean, Dodgers, Yankees would have been iconic. But one of my good friends is in the other dugout over there, A.J. Hinch, so I was rooting for him too. So, you know what, for me, honestly, the Indians and the Astros were the best team all year in the American League. So it's something where the Astros started off really well, made the deadline trade with Verlander, and I think the two best teams are playing for the World Series.
And I know Kirk Gibson's out of the country. Who's throwing out the ceremonial first pitch? Do you know tomorrow night?
I don't know. They're keeping that under wraps, man. I don't got the juice. I'm not in the know.
Maybe it's Vin. Could it be Vin or Tommy? Could be Tommy out there.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be someone special, and I'm pretty. I'm excited with anticipation.
Koufax, maybe? And
that would be awesome.
With Clayton Kershaw on the mound. Well, look, good luck. I know it's going to be red hot. Could be about 100 degrees for first pitch for a fall classic coming up on Tuesday. So have a great series, and I truly appreciate you calling in once again to the show.
All right, Rich, take care. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. That's Dave Roberts, Dodgers manager.
For more Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Rich Eisen Show app.